Well, okay. This is Ellwein Engine Shop. Carl Ellwein talking, and a quick video for Paul, the creator of TorqHead 24. Let's say LS1 PCM conversion using his componentry. The hub with integrated dual row 24X reluctor and a sensing unit that takes place of the opti. It's a cam sensor and the sensor for the 24X reluctor. And I've been trying to beta test, but my car is not the best subject. I bought this car from a previous owner who had it very well done, a real nice roll cage, halon fire suppression, a real nice more performance 396 splayed cap bottom end engine, and some pretty good boost with a Vortec S trim blower, but I took that out just because for simplicity, and I wanted to use this as a car to put different engines in. Right now it's a 355 stock crankshaft, but with a street mechanical roller camshaft. Nothing much more than that, and a 4L60E transmission, which is a 94-95 version, which probably needs a different valve body for this. Anyway, what I needed to do, this thing came with a race pump, and see this was leaking like a sieve, one of the fuel lines, before I could actually really start the car and tune it, because it runs. And so it was this line here that I had to replace with a brand new one. This Kiesler, I think it's a Magnaflow pump, very noisy, a sumped fuel tank, which I like a lot, but eventually I want to get rid of this noisy pump, simply for simplicity and for that I don't need it with mild motors. And so I want to go back to a stock tank and a upgraded pump, maybe with some voltage, maybe a Ken Bell adjustive pump, or whatever that thing is called, that gives you more voltage to get you more fuel pressure when needed, maybe if doing a dry shot of nitrous. And so there was a lot of I have this hanging here, that fuel line, another filter here, and I'm leaving it down low right now just to make sure it's not leaking. And under that, this thing came with a fast fuel and spark, first generation, and I finally almost extracted everything from under dash. It was all in here, but I didn't want to mess up with the fuel pump wiring. And this is also I guess the module, for my fuel pressure gauge. So I didn't want to break any of that stuff. This is the halon line. That's this line right here. The halon line. Fuel pressure gauge. It runs here, different voltages here. I also took out it was in here, it was a gear vendor's control unit. I took out the aqua mist, or the alcohol injection. That bucket of stuff is all right here, the fast, the gear vendors, lots of stuff here, a whole bucket full of stuff. Now, what I had done, and my fuel pump wouldn't work when I ripped this all out, and basically it all came down to I neglected to reinstall this solenoid wire, the turn-on wire. This thing has a big solenoid that runs the fans and the fuel pump, as in it's the turn-on switch for it. So I had neglected to reconnect this wire, but this is temporary. I had it. This is a stock wiring system. So I took out the fast wiring system and installed a junkyard stock wiring system that Bill Guffey is letting me borrow. Installed Paul's stuff plug and play. I ran the car on the stock wiring harness. It ran fine. Then I did the swap. I love these coils. That comes just like this, already installed on this billet bracket with a nice TorqHead logo, already wired. All you do is run this wire, plug it into the back, both sides. This plugs into the PCM. Stock wiring harness plugs into the PCM. There's a wiring fix that thankfully a beta tester found that 95s need to be wired a little different at the ignition. So anyway, where did I put that? This here is wired through. Power goes through the coil on the 95, 94. Therefore, it wasn't given power to the coils here. Paul has a nice, elegant fitting for that, and so I had just wired it into my water pump wiring, and it ran fine. For now, I'm running my water pump then to this solenoid. I have like I forget the guy's name who sold this, a Mizier water pump relay, and so that water pump is working fine now. If you can see down here, the relector and the hub, I do not have the damper on yet because I have to get an Impella damper. I'm just going to run it briefly, and under here you can see, maybe see the sensor unit, possibly. So I don't have my belt on and I don't have the damper on because I have spaced out my accessory to fit a Corvette damper 16 millimeters further away from the engine, and that allowed me to put bigger valve covers on. I don't need that now. This is last thing to do is take out the spacers. That'll put this back to the factory position. I'll get a B-body serpentine damper, hook the serpentine up. So, just so you know the rowdiness of this fuel system, at first I had thought when I pulled the fast unit out, it was the turn on. It gave a turn on signal to the pump because the pump wasn't running, so I had to hot wire it. But that wasn't the case. It was basically that relay that I forgot to plug in. But when I turn the key, of course, that big solenoid will toggle on fans, water pump, and the fuel pump. The fuel pump is on variable right now. Look at that sucker. Be driving down the road with this thing. No leaks. But also, it has a race mode switch. You know, it gives it full voltage. Check this out. See, I have it at 42 pounds. Right here. Big pressure. Anyway. That's what that does.